You've been lying in bed for an hour. The room is dark, the temperature is right. You have nowhere to be tomorrow morning, and nothing pressing enough to justify being awake at this hour. Everything about the room says sleep, your body has other ideas. Then 2 days later, you get in a car. You're not tired, you slept reasonably well the night before. The seat is not particularly comfortable, the road noise is constant, and there is nothing about the experience that should be more conducive to sleep than your own bed in your own room. The engine starts, the car pulls out of the driveway. 5 minutes later, your eyes are closing. Most people assume this is about exhaustion, that the car catches you at a moment when your body finally surrenders to accumulated fatigue. But research has tested this directly, and the results don't support it. In a 2018 study by researchers at RMIT University, participants who were fully rested, not sleep-deprived, not running on a deficit, showed measurable increases in drowsiness within 15 minutes of exposure to low-frequency car vibrations. By 30 minutes, the effect was significant. The car wasn't catching people when they were tired. The car was doing something to them. Inside your inner ear, there is a structure called the vestibular system, a set of fluid-filled canals and two small organs called the otoliths that detect motion, gravity, and the position of your body in space. Most people know the vestibular system as the thing responsible for balance and motion sickness. What most people don't know is that it has a direct line to the brain's sleep initiation circuitry. When the vestibular system detects low-frequency rhythmic motion, the kind produced by a moving vehicle, a rocking chair, a boat on calm water, it sends signals that travel through the brainstem into the thalamus, the brain's central relay station. The thalamus begins to synchronize its activity into the slow, rhythmic oscillations that characterize the earliest stages of non-REM sleep. The transition from wakefulness to sleep is not a wall you climb over. It is a frequency shift, and rhythmic motion helps the brain make that shift. In 2019, researchers at the University of Geneva published 2 studies on the same night in Current Biology. The first used human participants sleeping in gently rocking beds. Compared to a stationary bed, the rocking reduced the time it took to fall asleep, increased the duration of deep slow-wave sleep, reduced the number of brief nighttime awakenings, and, most unexpectedly, significantly improved performance on memory tests the following morning. The second study, using mice, identified the exact neural pathway, the otolith organs in the inner ear. When the researchers surgically removed vestibular function, the sleep-promoting effects of rocking disappeared entirely. The motion wasn't creating a general sense of relaxation. It was activating a specific, ancient, hardwired circuit. The circuit has been there for a very long time. To understand why, you have to think about the first environment any human being ever experiences. Before you could walk, before you could speak, before you had any capacity to protect yourself from anything, you were carried. Every safe moment of early human infancy involved movement. Being held meant being in motion. The subtle sway of walking, the rhythmic bounce of someone carrying you through daily life. The gentle rock of being held by someone who was themselves at rest. Motion and safety were the same signal. Stillness, being put down, being left alone, was the signal that the carrier had gone. For an infant with no ability to survive independently, that distinction mattered enormously. The vestibular system learned to read rhythmic motion as the most reliable available indicator that you were in the care of someone who could protect you. It encoded this not as a conscious association, but as a hardwired response, a direct link between the sensation of being carried and the neurological permission to let go. That link does not disappear when you grow up. The 2019 research confirmed that rocking promotes sleep, not just in infants but in healthy adults, not just in mice but across mammals tested, suggesting this is not a developmental artifact that fades with age, but a fundamental feature of how the nervous system relates motion to safety. Your inner ear is still running the same assessment. It ran on your first day of life, and a car engine idling at highway speed produces vibrations in the range of 0.1 to zero point 0.3 Hz. That frequency range sits almost perfectly within the vestibular system's optimal input window. The engineers who designed the first car seats were not thinking about infant carrying dynamics or vestibular sleep circuits. They were thinking about road vibration and passenger comfort. The fact that they accidentally reproduced the exact sensory signature of being carried by a human being is not engineering. It is coincidence, but your inner ear cannot tell the difference. There is a detail in the RMIT research that is worth pausing on. The study was originally motivated not by sleep science but by road safety. The researchers were trying to understand why drivers fall asleep at the wheel. Why alert, well-rested people find themselves drifting after sustained highway driving, even when they have no objective reason to be tired. What they found was that the car itself is the problem. The vehicle that is supposed to take you places is simultaneously running a continuous low-frequency signal into your vestibular system that your brain interprets as permission to sleep. The road is doing to you exactly what a parent's arms did when you were an infant, which brings you back to the bed. The modern bed has been refined for centuries toward a single design goal: eliminate motion. Better springs, better foam, better materials for absorbing movement. The entire history of mattress engineering is the history of making beds more completely still. A high-quality mattress is one that does not move at all, that absorbs every shift of weight without transferring it, that isolates each sleeper from every vibration. The global mattress industry is worth over $40 billion, built almost entirely on the premise that stillness is what sleep requires. But stillness is not what your nervous system is looking for. The bed is comfortable, it is temperature regulated, and dark and quiet and designed with considerable sophistication to support sleep. But it is missing the one input that your nervous system has associated with safety since the first day of your life. It is missing motion, it is missing the signal that says, you are being carried, you are not alone, you may let go. The car has that signal, not by design, but by accident. Every time you fall asleep in the passenger seat, your inner ear is responding to the oldest safety signal your nervous system knows: the feeling of being carried, the sensation that encoded itself into your vestibular circuitry before you had language for anything. You are falling asleep in the car because your inner ear is receiving the one signal. It is recognized as safe since the first day of your life. The bed is comfortable, the car is ancient. Your nervous system knows which one feels like home.